This is NDTV. And you're watching NDTV Hindu.
Well, if there ever was a stress test for the uneasy relationship between the Congress and the DMK, it is this. The CBI today named 5 accused, including Kanimozhi, in the 2G scam as these investigations took another step forward in Delhi. In the Union Territory today, the Puducherry Lieutenant Governor, who is facing allegations of having links with tax evader Hassan Ali, spent the day with the ED officials. A very good evening, I'm Divya, and let's bring you the other top stories on headlines now. CBI's second charge sheet on the 2G scam names Kanimozhi as co-conspirator. She's asked to appear in court on May 6th. Jayalalitha demands Kanimozhi's arrest in the 2G case and questions why Dayalu Ammal's name does not figure in the charge sheet. And before the new charge sheet was out, Karunanidhi brushed aside reports that it could strain the DMK's relationship with the Congress. Enforcement Directorate questions Puducherry Lieutenant Governor Iqbal Singh for about 4.5 hours today. Will booking LPG refills now become easier? Indian Oil launches 24/7 automated booking services to address human errors. Our Super Kings are the only team to have a cheering squad of both men and women. NDTV Hindu cheers and whistles for the big game.
I clearly am not made to be a cheerleader. Thank God I'm a journalist, but at least you know who I'm supporting.
Let's also bring you the news making national headlines. Suresh Kalmari arrested on charges of conspiracy, cheating and corruption 6 months after the Commonwealth Games ended. The Sports Minister says he will write to the Indian Olympic Association asking them to remove Kalmari as the IOA chief. An emotional Sachin Tendulkar joins hundreds of devotees in paying their last respects to Satya Sai Baba. And 4 days to go for Kate and William's big fat royal wedding, expected to cost a little over £20 million. Well, it's testing times for the uneasy relationship between the Congress and the DMK. Kanimozhi, the daughter of DMK Chief M. Karunanidhi, and Sharath Kumar, the Kalanya TV MD, have been summoned to the court on the 6th of May. The DMK MP has been named by the CBI as a co-conspirator with A. Raja in the 2G scam. However, Karunanidhi's wife Dayalu Ammal does not feature in the new charge sheet filed by the CBI in a Delhi court today. The charge sheet names A. Raja for taking bribe, Sharath Kumar as co-conspirator, Asif Balwa for abetment of bribery. The CBI focus is on transaction of 214 crores between companies linked to promoters of TB Realty and Kalanya TV, co-owned by Tamil Nadu's First Family. And our executive editor for English News, Sanjay Pinto, gave us the details on the political ramifications this might have.
Well, for the record, the DMK has all along been maintaining that there is a distinction between investigation and alliance, and one has no bearing, one doesn't hinge on the other. That's the official stated line of the DMK. As far as this case is concerned and the present development, well, the DMK top leaders, the top brass certainly sees this as a partial relief, because in fact Dayalu Ammal, Karunanidhi's wife, has not been charge sheeted, contrary to certain reports in a section of the media the last couple of days. But however, there are 3 scenarios here. If the DMK is to come to power and form the government, we know that they are contesting only 119 seats on their own. The Congress getting a chunk of 63 seats after that spat with the DMK, wanting those 3 additional seats. So in what's going to be a closely fought contest, the DMK will be in no position to jettison any ally, especially the Congress. In a second scenario of, let's say, Jayalalitha coming to power and forming the government, then she's expected to turn the heat on the DMK, and their presence in the centre will act as some sort of insurance cover, as many observers in the state believe. In another scenario, if the DMK is to pull out either its ministers or to snap ties completely with the Congress, then certainly the heat could be turned on with the Congress itself, because right now we know this case has wittingly or unwittingly given the Congress an upper hand in this relationship, something that wasn't the case in the last few months before the run-up to the elections. So the DMK definitely would not at this stage, they will not want to rock the boat at this stage. It's something they can ill afford at this stage. We'll have to really wait and see how this plays out. For now, the DMK will stick to its stand that this is a case to be fought in court. They have all along maintained, Karunanidhi has gone on record a couple of times to say that if someone is found guilty in this case, and they will be expelled from the party. The DMK has also said that someone's name figuring in a charge sheet or an arrest made in any case is no conclusive proof of guilt, that it has to be established in a court of law beyond the shadow of doubt. So for now they will take this as a sort of legal challenge and will not see any political significance at this stage. Of course they will be kept on their toes, but will prefer to put up a brave face for now, saying that the law will take its course. Also they will take the line that since it's a case directly monitored by the Supreme Court, the Congress, their ally, really has no role, that its role is limited to a large extent because of the court's supervision in this case.
The supplementary charge sheet was filed. Chief Minister M. Karunanidhi brushed aside reports that it could put a strain on the DMK's relationship with the Congress.
அந்த மாதிரி நடந்தா நீங்க வந்து காங்கிரஸ் கூட்டணியை விட்டு வெளியே வர வாய்ப்பு இருக்கா சார்? அவங்க பேரு அந்த சார்ஜ் ஷீட்ல இருந்தா நீங்க வந்து காங்கிரஸ் கூட்டணியில இருந்து வெளியே வர வாய்ப்பு இருக்கா?
இருக்கணும்னு ஆசைப்பட்டீங்கன்னா பெண்களாக இங்க பேசக்கூடாது. பெண்களுடைய இதயத்தை தூக்கி எடுத்துட்டு பேசக்கூடாது.
And speaking to NDTV, Srinivasan Jain, in March this year, Kanimozhi had insisted there was no wrongdoing and the DMK would come out clean. Let's in fact bring up that interview for you once more.
Is the DMK now acknowledging the fact that there is going to be an impact, or to put it more bluntly, there is going to be damage to you in these elections because of everything that's happened, 2G, Raja and all of that?
See, right from the beginning, we have been saying it is a perception. The allegations are based on perceptions, and the whole case is in court. Let the process go on, and let's see what comes out of it. If somebody is found guilty, definitely the party will take action. But before that, we can't sit judgment, we can't, the press, the media and other people cannot sit trial. There are judges, there is a court to do that. We can't pass judgment on anybody. So that's what we've been trying to say.
So are you still maintaining that Raja is innocent? He is not guilty?
I am not saying that anybody is innocent or somebody is not guilty. I'm saying the case is in the court.
No,
so let the process go on.
But your
and
father, the
that,
leader of the party,
yes,
said he's an honest man. He said Raja is an honest man, he's a martyr, he's been wrongly victimized. Is that the stand that even now the party and you are still taking?
The DMK believes its cadres, the DMK believes its leaders. So let the court, let there be a fair trial.
Okay.
After that, then we can make decisions about it. Why hang somebody just before the trial even happens?
And the opposition leader Jayalalitha has reacted to these developments on the 2G spectrum scam. She says, and I quote, Kanimozhi should be arrested for her involvement in the scam. It's surprising that Dayalu Amal is not named in the 2G charge sheet. Kalanya TV's license should be cancelled, and I unquote. Also facing the axe was Suresh Kalmadi today, who has been arrested for corruption and cheating. His party, the Congress, has suspended him. Kalmadi was interrogated this morning by the CBI for the 4th time about a slate of contracts that saw the most expensive firms being hired for equipment and services for the Commonwealth Games that were held in India in September. And according to Sports Minister, Kalmadi may soon have to quit the Indian Olympic Association as well.
इंडियन ओलंपिक एसोसिएशन को हम लोग लिखेंगे उनके, क्योंकि सेक्रेटरी जनरल को हम अब कम्युनिकेट करेंगे और उनको हम लिखेंगे कि आईओए के प्रेसिडेंट के रूप में कोई ऐसा व्यक्ति नहीं होना चाहिए जो चार्जशीटेड हो और जो जेल में हो, क्योंकि आईओए का प्रेसिडेंट देश को रिप्रेजेंट करता है और देश को रिप्रेजेंट करने वाला कोई ऐसा व्यक्ति नहीं होना चाहिए जो चार्जशीटेड है। तो फॉर्मल अनाउंसमेंट अगर गिरफ्तारी की होती है और अगर गिरफ्तार होते हैं तो हम लोग आईओए को लिखेंगे कि वो दोबारा से किसी ऐसे व्यक्ति को दोबारा से इलेक्ट करें जिसके ऊपर कोई चार्जेस ना हो।
And the opposition has reacted to Kalmari's arrest. The BJP alleges that this is just the tip of the iceberg and other big fishes are yet to be caught.
सुरेश कलमाड़ी का अरेस्ट ये तो टिप ऑफ द आइसबर्ग है। अलग अलग डिपार्टमेंट में जो निर्णय हुए हैं, कैबिनेट सब कमेटी, एक्सपेंडिचर फाइनेंस कमेटी, ग्रुप ऑफ मिनिस्टर्स, पीएमओ और प्राइम मिनिस्टर ने निर्णय किए, उसका क्या? तो मैं ये उम्मीद करता हूं कि इसमें जितने लोग इन्वॉल्व है, चाहे वो कोई भी केंद्र के मंत्री रहे, दिल्ली के मुख्यमंत्री रहे या कोई भी रहे, उनके ऊपर भी सीबीआई ने कड़ी कार्रवाई करनी चाहिए। तब जनता में सीबीआई की और इस कार्रवाई की विश्वासार्हता निर्माण होगी।
Moving on, the Enforcement Directorate today questioned the Puducherry Lieutenant Governor at the Raj Bhavan for about 4.5 hours. And this is the second trip made by the ED officials for questioning. And sources say the earlier trip was more of a recce trip, looking at the logistics. Earlier today, the Puducherry Chief Minister also met the Governor for about an hour. And later that, he addressed the press and backed the Governor, saying that there is no need for him to resign. And for more details on this, our reporter Ashmit Kumar, who has been tracking this story in Puducherry, now joins us live on the phone line. Well, Ashmit, what exactly transpired after the ED's second meet with Iqbal Singh today?
Well, at this point, this is the one question that is reigning supreme on minds of most journalists, analysts and politicians alike, for the simple reason that officials within Raj Niwas have been very tight-lipped about it, essentially. We've tried to make contact with the PRO, with the special officer on duty today, considering that it was the ED that was coming. We also tried to establish contact with the likes of the private secretary. All of that has not helped. They were not responding to calls, and the ones who did refused point blank to give us a clear answer, a clear verdict on perhaps what transpired today. So we do not have a very clear picture, but at the same time, on the other hand, we do have our sources who are telling us that we did see interrogation. Let's also keep in mind that the ED spent nearly 5 hours in the Raj Niwas. So again, although it is speculation at this point, although it is unconfirmed reports coming in from our sources, but we do believe that the interrogation were conducted to a certain extent. And in fact, some interesting facts that came to light that surfaced only a while back was the fact that the ED, prior to actually questioning, prior to actually entering Raj Niwas, had purchased 10 DVDs and 1 printer. Now, 1 DVD on average has about 1 GB of space. To record all that interactions, to record all the interactions, to videograph it, as ED has called it, and there's a plan on doing it, gives us an idea of, again, the preparation that they had in mind, that which also not only gives us an indication of perhaps the fact that they had interrogations today, but also the fact that we could perhaps see some more action tomorrow coming in by way of some more ED officials visiting and further interrogating perhaps the Lieutenant Governor at this point. Then again, just to add that important touch here, that these are unconfirmed reports coming in from our sources at this point. But of course, what we can confirm today with as bare fact in simple black and white is the fact that ED did arrive today. They entered at 1:40 and they left nearly 5 hours later in what is believed to have been a session of interrogation.
Right, Ashman. Thanks very much indeed for joining us with all those details. And still ahead on the bulletin, hundreds strong Puttaparthi, including celebrities. More details when we come back.